Hello, Internet. This is BoneCarlos coming to you live from Akalon Waste with my buddy, as always. Nob, how you doing over there, buddy?
Great, great.
That's just a little bit too many buddies. Anyways, the players today are going to be Roxas, spawning as the blue Protoss. His opponent is going to be ehonG, spawning as the red Terran. This is another cast or a replay brought to you by rcast at a great little subreddit on Reddit. Just r/cast it. You can drop your replays off to have them cast, or take a replay of your own to start your own casting adventures. Today we're gonna have a PvT, obviously, and one that's, for me personally, my worst matchup. I think I got like a 30, maybe 40% win ratio against Terran. But knowing that Nob is Terran, what do you think are the weaknesses in the TVP from a T point of view?
Well, from the T point of view, one, it's a lot harder to harass in the early game now because of the mothership core and that photon overcharge, a very powerful tool. Granted, it can be baited out, but if you're smart with it, it can be a heavy deterrent from early pressure. That's why, to me, the one gate expand is a little more effective than it used to be, say, in Wings of Liberty. And then, of course, there's always the fact that the late game is just so Protoss favored because of Colossus, because of High Templar. Once you get that gratuitous amount of splash going, that and the fact that Toss have that really nice new air game going. So I would say the late game and the fact that the early game they're harder to punish now are the two main chinks. Terrans we even got a little bit stronger in the mid game in HOTS, which we really didn't need. So that's pretty much my take on how the game kind of pans out in this matchup.
Yeah, and you are correct with the mothership core. It is really a little bit easier to defend, but still, it still harkens back to Wings Liberty, where you were talking about earlier. You need the Colossi, you need the High Templar, and that still requires you to have 3 bases, all those 6 gases running at the same time to be able to use all that Vespin gas to be able to start churning them out, or you could just do a slow steady push on 2 bases, but it's really hard to trade armies evenly with a Terran if you're doing that. So like in Wings of Liberty, it comes down to the Protoss player just holding out until you get those 3 bases fully saturated, especially with that gas. You could have those 4, 5, maybe even 6 Colossi with that Templar backup, and at that point, if the Terran doesn't know what he's doing with his units, it could be very detrimental and very easy, quick loss for the Terran players. And already we see ehonG doing a very quick 1 Rax expand. This is very interesting. Well, not really very interesting. It's just really very standard in my opinion as a Terran, since they can just put a bunker at the front and they'll be safe from any early kind of pressure.
Yep, that is definitely correct. And the 1 Rack's probably definitely one of the safest things. It's even capable of holding off, say, the fabled 4 gate if handled correctly. So it all depends on on the player here. But yeah, they just basically getting that quick economy up and then just rush into medvacs is what I'm expecting here. But we'll see.
Yeah, and right now we actually see Roxas doing it with a 1 gate expand, following alongside his opponent, getting a second assimilator at around the 4.5 minute mark. So no double gas, no quick gas, no quick tech out of Roxas. So this is something that I generally like doing, but I'm gonna need to change up since I'm not finding very much success with it. And here we go, the bunker at the front. We already see Marines just scouting around the extremities of his natural expansion, trying to find that probe. I guess he already killed that probe, so he's probably just checking around, making sure there's no proxy pylons, nothing of that nature, which is always safe to do up against a Protoss opponent. And finally, ehonG is finally getting his refineries down. A double refinery at around the 520 mark. We already see the mothership core going to go ahead and jet around the extremes of the main base, maybe hopefully trying to pick off an SCV or 2, especially if he gets his hands on those weakened ones. I mean, there is one SCV already at 15 health, so a couple volleys will be able to bring it down and pretty much destroy it. And here it comes, the mothership core. Just going to do some early harassment. This isn't really going to do that much crazy shenanigans. Roxas is just going to scout around with this mothership core.
Yeah, I think he actually did find one of the weak SCVs because he halted that refinery.
So there you go, win for that mothership core.
Yep, already delaying his gas. He still hasn't saturated his other gas as of yet, or finished building this one. So, mission accomplished and definitely delaying gas.
Yeah, and both these players aren't the highest level play. Roxas is a diamond, ehonG is a platinum. So either Roxas is on the verge of getting demoted or ehonG on the verge of getting promoted. But more than likely, Roxas is just high diamond, ehonG gonna get promoted because I'm just that kind of guy. Always looking at the bright side of things. And ooh, only 2 probes on this assimilator. Hopefully Roxas could catches that. Because if not, it could really get your timings and your build order and just your overall play really screwy since you expect to have more gas than you should. And there he goes. Yep, he finally put that third worker on that gas.
Yep, and one other thing I wanted to mention in terms of the platinum diamond thing you're mentioning just a few moments ago, door number 3, if you may, this also could be an unranked game.
That is true. That is very possible.
I had a ladder session the other day where it put me against a gold, yes gold, and then a master league.
So it's just all over the place, and that is very true. So that is the third option, and Roxas, what I like about Roxas is he's constantly putting down those pylons, getting really on top of his supply. So his macro, he's just multitasking is very well. Haven't seen him get supply blocked just yet. And again, poking forward with that mothership core. 3 stalkers as backup. So as long as he doesn't overextend with this mothership core, he'll actually be able to do plenty of damage. Here we go. This is great. I love this sort of play, and probably something that I'm going to incorporate more into the coming days. He's going to lose a sentry if he doesn't. He loses a sentry, loses a stalker. Time bomb on those Marines. Managed to get another kill. Yep, another kill. He did lose that sentry, which is huge. That's 100 gas. Something you just don't want to throw away. This refinery might go down, but he decides to pull on back. That time bomb is it was very interesting in my opinion. I would have just stuck with it and maybe recalled if things got a little bit too hairy. But then again, that's just me. Again, a little bit of a multitasking fail when losing that sentry, but hey, okay, still plenty of damage that was done. This refinery might go down if it's not repaired properly. We see a couple SCVs just hanging out doing their thing. So all in all, very effective harassment, I think.
I really like that what he did there. That's something I don't see a lot out of Protoss players. I really don't want to see a lot. And yeah, that was very impressive, and I just haven't seen that before. So Matt, really great. I can't be more of a fan of that if I was a Protoss player.
Yeah,
that was very impressive.
Yeah, very true. And here we go. We got sentries nibbling away at these destructible rocks here. We see an interesting rally point by Marines. We see already one at the front of Roxas' natural expansion, pretty much just making sure there isn't anything massive coming out of there. And we actually see the second Marine going to go check out that third of Roxas as well. And while ehonG has already had his command center, yep, a third orbital command finishing up in a second, but Roxas is there to negate any sort of landing there. And again, that mothership core is just being very good with that harassment. It's trying to slow down SCV production or building production, while at the same time another time bomb gets dropped. These Marines are going to be very slow. While a tech lab, I think it was it canceled or was it actually taken down?
I believe they destroyed that, and that was a reactor most likely for this starport right here.
Yeah, so there you go. That timing is going to be off just a little bit. So Roxas is doing a great job. He's just harassing, keeping his Terran opponent off his game. Well, and it just obviously keeps him off his game, keeps his build order timing way off, but it also keeps the army of ehonG in his own base. So you're not going to see those medevacs flying around the map doing multi-pronged drops that Protosses are very hesitant to try to defend. So why not go with the early aggression and keep ehonG at his own base?
Yeah, very true. Because that's what really, in my opinion, makes Protoss probably one of the races I feel that has the hardest time expanding, because of the fact that they're a little less mobile until they get, say, a blink or something to that effect, or unless the bases are really close together. It's one of the reasons they struggled on Antigua's shipyard against Terran multi-drops. So this is back even in Wings of Liberty before Boost, and in Neo Planet S now.
Exactly, and what we see out of Roxas, he already has a robotics bay, extended thermal lance finishing up. One Colossi just popped, just warped in. So he's going to have very good Colossi count, and he's been churning out upgrades with it as well. So he's already got the, actually he's just starting up the armor, which is great up against Terrans, and it allows the Zealots to survive that extra volley from a single Marine. While at the same time, ehonG, no upgrades just yet. He just started researching out of that double engineering bay, but he has just a very basic bio ball with, it looks like a factory backup. He hasn't been turning anything out of it just yet. It has a reactor on it, so all he can build is Widow Mines and or Hellions. Well, not so much the Hellions, but the Widow Mines will be great. Money scan. Where did he scan that?
I'm not quite sure. I'm guessing most likely right on top of the army here. I was actually checking out some of these upgrades here over in ehonG space, but yeah, that was on
yeah,
the
so
army.
Spotted those two Colossi. We're more than likely going to see those Vikings starting to get churned out. This starport is just sitting idle for well, just a little bit, and nope, still churning out. Oh, there you go, double Vikings coming out. This factory is just building those tech labs, building those reactors. So 2 more starports. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a very basic bio ball coming out of ehonG versus Roxas's just infantry army with Colossi support. But as soon as these 2 assimilators get finished up, I'm expecting to see the High Templar production crank up, because Vikings cannot shoot down if they are in the air.
Yeah, it's very, very sad. I personally thought that was a flaw in the design, but, you know, Blizzard apparently felt otherwise.
Hey, Blizzard knows what they're doing. We'll just leave it at that. I don't want to get banned.
There's a lot of people on the forums that think the contrary, but I think they're doing
yeah,
a great
no, I
job.
actually enjoy it. I never feel like a certain unit is completely overpowering another. Even back when they was supposedly called Windfesters, I just never engaged a huge Infester army with my slow Protoss army, and turned out to be just fine. Here we go. We see Roxas just pushing forward, making sure exactly what his opponent is doing. Both players are on 3 bases. So Sonic Storms, Colossi, we see Templar. We don't see we see a nice little bit of a bank by Roxas, but mainly because he doesn't really have that many unit producing structures. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 warp gates and a single robotics facility. He could actually afford to tack on 2 or 3 more warp gates and a single another robotics facility if he saturated that 3rd, but so far he's just content to just patrolling the outer sides of the map. And how's the Terran economy looking for you? Alrighty then. Looks like we're having some sort of difficulties. I can't exactly hear Nav at the moment. So just pipe in if you get your situation just settled around. But right now we see Marine going to go ahead and pop forward with his combat shield. Just going to try to go one-on-one with the mothership. We're going to see a nice little engagement. This Protoss army is slightly... looks like the Vikings are going to go ahead and push forward, try to focus down the Colossi. They back away from those Stalkers. Huge money storms from the high ground on that High Templar. The Charge-Lots are going to go ahead and push forward, going to chase away the infantry of ehonG, but those Stalkers were in the back trying to pick away at the Vikings. 2 are left over from the initial 6 or 7. I cannot tell who exactly won that engagement. Welcome back, Nav. What did you think of that engagement?
Well, a little bit of a miss micro from the Vikings here, but that wasn't quite as bad as it could have been. Those Vikings went a little further down, so they weren't shooting at these other 2 Colossus here. So if he would have eliminated those, that could have really been a huge help. Then he would have just had to deal with the High Templars, which he has Ghosts coming out for. But that wasn't as bad as it could have been, especially because he managed to save a very large chunk of his army as well as several medvacs. So it's anyone's game still at this
that
point.
was a nice little engagement. Nice Psionic Storms. Nice usage by that Stalkers to pick off those Vikings, but still nice by ehonG to pull back, recognize that he's going into a choke, and there is Psionic Storm on the field. And now ehonG is just playing very defensively, not sure exactly what he's timid about. He could actually just stand to just keep patrolling. Double Viking production still on the way. He has 3 starports. He has 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 barracks, all with add-ons, while at the same time it looks like Roxas is gearing up to take his 4th, put down 4 more warp gates, but I don't see another robotic facility. No, he doesn't want to go heavy. He just wants to go heavy infantry, which at this point I think is a pretty good choice. I mean, if he has plenty of Colossi coming out of that, if he has constant Colossi production out of that single robotic facility, he'll be fine. And he just wants to have that meat of those charge lots. Right now, it looks like ehonG is just turning away, protecting his 3rd, but at the same time leaving his natural expansion just belly up. And Roxas is a little bit timid. I don't think he knows what he needs to be going after at this point.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit like, well, this normally isn't this easy. They don't normally just let me have this, so I'm gonna go in here, but. I mean, at some points, it just kind of depends on how the engagement goes. And right now, I'm really liking where he's positioned, kind of in the 3rd. The Zealots really didn't get much surface area, and this bio here is 2-2 in comparison to the Protoss is 3-1.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting. I've never seen that upgrade combination.
Well, I mean, he's been constantly churning out the upgrades, but right now the entire Protoss army is going to get decimated, going to get wiped out, cleaned up, but there is a huge DT drop in by this Warp Prism. So secret DT, secret Dark Shrine, secret Warp Prism, and look at that. There isn't any scans, there is no turret, there is no Raven on the field. Orbital Command has enough for 1 scan on the main, 2 more coming in on the 3rd, 2 more coming in on the natural. So he's going to be able to scan all of these, but not before the entire infrastructure of the Terran army is pretty much wiped out.
Yep, can he get this last one over here? Because even one Dark Templar uncontested can tear apart your entire
Yep,
base.
and right now, it looks like the Vikings there are watching it nibble away. This barracks is down to about 40 HP. There is a single observer at the front again. Looking at the loss tab, we see workers killed was 26 workers killed by Roxas. Units killed 133. Oh, units, yeah. Oh, what happened over here?
Oh, never mind. I was gonna say he saved that barracks with 3 HP with that mule, and then
The Dark Templar has 3 kills to stain one of them. I think the mules do count as a kill if I am correct, but this barracks is down again to under 10 HP. It's gonna go 3. Oh, that is bad. That is bad. So looking at the income tab, we see both players are around even. So even though you have that huge DT pretty much just warping in the back with the power of those mules, with the power of Roxas' 4th, it's pretty much about even on the economy. But looking at the natural, looking at the main, ehonG is going to be tapped out in a few minutes, in 2 or 3 minutes, especially since Roxas didn't saturate that 3rd for quite some time. He still has nice and full along with his 4th.
Yeah, very much still anybody's game here, but the Dark Templar has quite a large amount of money. He's just trying to spend it now. Pretty much is all it is he's got a hefty bank. If he has a few engagements where he trades his army correctly, then this could really be his
and right
game.
now we see 3 Colossi on the field, plenty of charge lots, a couple of High Templar there with enough for a single storm each as soon as this engagement is going to happen. Well, it looks like +1 shields, +2 attack is going to be finished in a second for the Protoss army. So the upgrade count for both players is pretty even, especially with this double forge that Roxas has been using the entire game. Right now, we actually see ehonG try to take his 4th, but a single Zealot there prevented that. So Roxas is doing great. He added a 2nd robotics facility and a 3rd robotics facility into his name, so he's triple producing Colossi alongside with that Zealot and High Templar with a couple of Stalkers mixed into the mix. And this Mothership Core is actually still alive from the beginning of the match. Good for it.
Yeah, that warping was nuts. I did not see that coming, but that's just shows you the power of DTs. They killed a lot of that infrastructure so quickly that
a Sonic Storm on these medvacs. No feedback. There they go. Finally taking out a lot of them. So again, the Vikings are pushed in forward position where they really shouldn't. And oh my, that was just exactly what ehonG did not want. Misclick cost him the game. Yes, it has. So that was it for this replay. I hope you guys enjoyed. If not, leave comments down below on what we could do to make these more enjoyable for you. Also, if you have one of your own replays you'd like for us to cast, feel free to upload them to one of the major replay sites. Drop.sc is very popular, as is GG Tracker, currently rising the ranks. That's it for me. Any parting words of wisdom, Nav?
When you're 18 and a music company asks you to sell out to make some money,
there you go. Later, guys.